Hi, and welcome back to the Museum of Oxford. This is my object. Now, going back to some of the objects. Obviously, this little guy here is going to be a lot easier to take a photo of just because he's got more of a 3D shape to him. So you can do so much more with him. You can have some nice shadows coming off of the bottoms of the legs. So if you had the light shining from this way, you can kind of get all the little shadows coming off the legs and possibly off even to the trunk. So that's one good way of having it as a shadowing effect for this person. Now, the difficult thing was, and I mentioned this in the first video, is the 2D objects. Now these are going to be difficult to do, and I'll show you some examples on screen now of how I've managed to take some photos of them to try and get them nice. You can even just have them simple as literally just laying them like that. Because if you've got let's say you've got two banknotes from, like, I don't know, somewhere like I have with my great uncle. Well, you can have like 2 photos or 2 paintings or 2 portrait pictures of your grandparents. You can sort of have them side by side. You can have like one being your granddad and then one being your grandma, sort of poking out, or vice versa, grandma and granddad. Just you can have them so they're really nicely laid out and almost like kind of really think of the composition of the photo, how you're going to do them, because obviously with these ones you can't really have too much of a shadow coming off a 2D object, and then they are quite difficult to do, but you can do them. Even if so, you sort of created and almost sort of like a tunnel vision to them. You could be using a different object, for example, even like a kitchen roll holder, or like a tube or anything. You can put the tube on there and actually take the photo and have a nice circle around it to kind of really make you really kind of think of the way to do it. Again, I'll put some examples on screen now so you can see of how I've managed to achieve this. One thing I will say is almost what sort of story do you want to tell with your photo? Do you want to explore more of the history of the background of it? Such as, obviously, these items that I have, they're from my great uncle from World War II. So you can sort of go down kind of like a Supezzo. I could go around like a miniature route, so I could have it so nice, take it outside on a nice day, have it nice and green around and maybe some mud, so it kind of looks a bit more like earthy, a bit more sort of in like the field of battle kind of thing. But also, yeah, if you want to even look into the history, like, so let's say you have something that's been left to you from a grandparent, ask your parents, you know, what do you remember this as a child? Where was it from? And sort of learn the history about the object. You can either and then portray that in your photo, or just take it how you would. So you can use a modern, like a, let's say a vintage object, but in a modern world. So you can almost like me putting this inside like a if you like live in quite a new home, or it's quite nice and modern, like the way it's been styled. Having something like very vintage in that can look really cool, and vice versa. Having something quite new, modern technology like phones or iPads or laptops, you can have that in like quite a look and make it quite like a vintage style, which would be really, really cool. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos to come. Make sure that you upload your work to the City Stories website, and I'll see you soon. Take care.